Oh wow, so instead of getting 3 for Gloria and 1 for Barrel, I farmed 1 of each instead. Now this is the type of mistake you don't want to make. Hey everyone, TimaeuSS here and welcome to another Sword of Convallaria video. Now today we're gonna bring you guys the do not make these mistakes guide, okay? Couple of things here, and the first two are going to be absolutely the most important thing that you avoid in Sword of Convallaria, especially when starting out. And right off the bat is essentially the intro that you just saw. Okay, in the crossing worlds there's going to be a memory retrieval, and this is a really important component of the game as a free to play player. That's right, in this game when you pull on a banner character, all of the characters, you just need one basic copy, because the character shards, or rather the dupes that you obtain from getting multiple copies of the character, is farmable. That's right, you heard it right, it is 100% farmable. So you can see here the memory retrieval mode of the crossing worlds. It has 9 shards, okay, as rewards, as the highest difficulty, and then 8, 7, and so on and so forth. And you unlock these by progressing through, of course, the main storyline, which is the Fool's Journey. Okay, so this is the main storyline. After 3-17 is when you unlock everything pretty much, but crossing worlds is the most important side aspect where you farm all of the resources. But okay, I digress. The memory retrieval part, the reason why you saw in the beginning I got 4 shard pieces instead of what I said 3 plus 1 is because every single character can get a maximum of 3 pieces of these shards per entry per day. Okay, you can see your attempt is once per day here, and at higher levels you can see it's 8 and whatnot. So what you want to do is below the 7th level, okay, up all the way to level 3, you want to use just 2 characters. If you're focusing on 2 characters, for example Gloria plus your main DPS, that means these 2 characters, the 2 characters you put in, will get 3 shards each. Now if you put 4 or 5 characters in a full team going into this, then of course it's going to be spread out between all of these units instead of the 2 characters you want to be focusing on. Okay, and as you reach the highest one, it's going to be 9, right? So here you use 3 characters instead, because again maximum is 3 per character, so 3 times 3 is 9 quick maths. All right, and this is why it's super important to understand this, because it will build up. Imagine you are a month or 2 down the line and you're only realizing that you can only get a maximum of 3 and it's random by chance. So if you put a full team, you're not gonna be able to direct and focus your resources on the shards you want to farm. So this is mistake number 1 that people were making when the game first launched on the CN server. Now the biggest, I would say even more important than the first mistake we have talked about, is going to be the skill tree. Now this is one component of the game where I think it's absolutely crazy. If you take a look at the skill tree system, you'll see that some of the characters have new passives as well as upgrades to their current innate skills locked behind character rank upgrades. And you see here that Barrow is level 5, okay, on this content creator test server, and I'm gonna upgrade my rank to class rank 1. Okay, now it's gonna allow me to select between 2 new skills, and this is absolutely insane, because if you make a mistake here, you are really screwed. Okay, so of course you can click away and not select it. Make sure you click away the first time you see this, unless you know what you're doing, because let me tell you what happens if you make a mistake here. And I have to stress this again, this is one component of the game where yeah, the casual players may just get really messed up. Let's say I pick Wall of Flame, okay, and let's say Wall of Flame is the wrong one. Okay, now I will get this new skill or new passive and I'm locked to that. That's right, I cannot change to this at all. I'm forever locked to this choice. The only thing I can do now is open up the other passives as well through another currency, and this is the one Castelia currency. And I'm on the test content creator server, so I've got pretty much infinite resources, and it's not tied to, of course, the global release whatsoever. But in this actual launch of the game, okay, and we've seen it on the CN side as well, this Castelia resource resource is super scarce, and you definitely don't want to waste it at all, which means that across all of these characters, as you're progressing through the early to the mid game and whatnot, you will have to pick the right skill, because if you don't pick the right skill as you're going through your class ranks, your character is not going to play the same as someone who has optimized their upgrades. Now fear not, on my channel I'm going to have character guides, and I'll go through the CM Bros newest updates, and we will go over their choices on the character skill choices. Okay, so don't worry about that, and it's not the end of the world, because if you're playing casually, honestly, units like Barrow and Gloria are still going to be insane. You can go with your gut feeling, but if you're trying to optimize things, if you don't want to make any mistakes, click away first if you don't know what the correct choice is. Otherwise, you are locked to this, and you have to use precious resources such as the Convallaria to open up both sides. That's where you can't even skip. The only choice is to open up both sides, and of course the resource is going to be really tight on this. So yes, this is honestly bigger than the first mistake we've talked about, is choosing the wrong skill if you're going to min-max, or if you're looking to push into rankings and whatnot. That picking the wrong skill will screw you out of the character for the next little whiles, especially if you have multiples, right? Because you know, these mistakes compound, because you have to use the premium resource to make sure that you unlock the correct one across all of these characters. So please don't make that mistake. Click away if you haven't clicked on the right skills, or haven't gained the knowledge yet. Click away, wait for my video, or ask in my Discord first and before you choose the wrong one. Okay, but again, if you're super casual, don't worry too much about it. And now we've got a couple of tips rather than mistakes in the second part of this video, and starting us off is the Voyage Memento. Okay, you can see that there are essentially missions in the resources development as well as the impact section that you want to achieve across the various phases of your gameplay. You can see that they do reward you with quite some nice items at the end of each phase, and make sure you check in on these missions every now and then, because as you're starting out, your stamina is going to be quite scarce, so you don't want to miss out on these phases or missions rather, and then always having to come back and redo some other missions that you haven't achieved as you are progressing. Okay, it's meant to make your journey smooth, and you're supposed to get pull resources, characters, as well as their treasures, which makes everything smoother. Okay, so make sure you come back, otherwise you're gonna spend extra resources doing things like upgrading characters or over leveling or wasting resources in some places you shouldn't be. So make sure you do this as you progress through the game. It's a very nice guide, and essentially hand holding you across your first few days to make sure that you are achieving what you should be setting out to do without wasting extra resources or stamina. So that is very important. Now, next few things are going to be your socials. That's right, you can add friends in this game, and you can gift and claim proof of reputation, which is actually quite useful. Okay, so they buffed it in the shop section. If you go to the exchange reputation tab, you can see that there are a few things you can change, and not to mention the materials that are really good, as well as the EXP powders, coins. You can also get some engraving chests alongside legendary Tarot Whisperers of the series. So these are not bad at all. So having all of these reputation currencies that you get from friends is really good. Of course, you can also join a guild as well. Okay, and all of the guild members will be able to participate in weekly guild activity points, and you will be able to collect rewards as we reach specific milestones. So make sure that you have an active community, active friends, and active guild, because it will be very beneficial to your journey in this game. And if you don't have anyone to play with, come to my Discord channel. I'll have a guild along with our players that are of course going to be very active with their UID, so you can find your friends, find a new guild in my Discord as well. So we'll make sure that we'll probably branch out a couple, so we'll be able to carry everyone in our guild, so don't worry about that. And yeah, these are pretty much the biggest tips, as well as the mistakes to avoid in the initial parts. Of course, the beginner's guide of this game will be released sometime tomorrow as I progress through day 1, but most importantly, like I've said, farm your shards. Make sure they're split between the most important characters. Okay, 3 for example Gloria, and the rest for Cole or for Barrow or in Nana, if that's what you're going for. And also please don't add the wrong skill trees, okay? That is gonna really hamper your progression. Nothing hurts more than adding the wrong skill tree and turns out that, you know what, why are you healing a character using barrel? Instead, you can do some insane AoE damage. Okay, so this is what I mean, right? Big difference. So anyhow, hopefully this was helpful. Let me know if it is. And again, more and tons of new guides coming up for Sword of Convallaria coming up, because this game has been released over on the CN side for quite some time now. So I've got tons of resources that I can read through and present to you guys globally with the release of the game. And I'll be rerolling day 1, so check them out tier list, check them out the reroll guide, and see you guys there during the launch of the game. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye now.